I'm going to show you how to completely design your SLO or self-liquidating offer. Not only am I going to show you how to design your entire SLO, I'm going to show you a step-by-step example of every single page, from the sales pages, the upsells, the downsells, the VSLs. By the end of this video, you should have the knowledge to completely create an SLO for any product that you want. Now, this is part 3 of my brand new series on how to create a self-liquidating offer. In part 1, I showed you the power of an SLO. And in part number 2, I showed you how to actually make money and monetize with an SLO. Now, later on in this series, after I teach you how to design the SLO, I'm going to show you how to actually create it step by step and click by click. I'm going to show you how to run Facebook and TikTok ads. And then at the end of this series, I'm going to show you how you can completely clone my exact SLO. That way you don't have to go and create one yourself if you don't want to. Now, one thing I want you to understand is with an SLO, this will work if you're a complete beginner or if you have a product or service that you want to sell. The whole purpose of an SLO is to build an email list. So it doesn't matter if you're an affiliate marketer, if you already have a product, the whole purpose is to be able to build your email list without having to pay for ads. Essentially, an SLO is a self-liquidating offer, meaning if we spend $1,000 in ads, we should return $1,000 back, or at least that's the goal with the SLO. With that being said, let's go and design the entire SLO from beginning to end. All right, so I'm going to show you how to completely design your SLO. It's going to be a step-by-step process. I really just want you to understand kind of the framework of how I design an SLO. Now, again, if you are an affiliate marketer, because that's what I teach, this will work for you as well. Or again, if you already have your own product, this will be a little bit easier for you because you already have a product, okay? Now, if you're watching these videos and you're like, well, I don't want to go and create this entire SLO, that's okay, because at the end of this series, I'm going to show you how you can completely clone my SLO as your own, okay? But that being said, I still want to teach you the skills and the framework. So don't skip to the end of this series just yet. I want you to really understand why we're doing what we're doing. That way you have confidence when you go to the marketplace, okay? So number 1 is you need to create the core product, okay? Now, I call it a no-brainer product, okay? This is gonna be your actual $5 product. Now, it can be anywhere from $5 to $7, but it should be something like a no-brainer, okay? So remember, the whole goal of an SLO is we wanna run ads to this product. So we want people to be able to go to this page from Facebook ad or a YouTube ad or even a TikTok ad, and we want them to make an impulse purchase. So that being said, it needs to be something sexy, something that no-brainer, something that can get them a result, okay? We don't want to give them a full 100-module course or something crazy that's hard to consume. The whole goal is we want to give them something that can give them a quick result. That being said, that makes it easier for you to create a product if you've never created a product before. Now, again, if you're an affiliate marketer and you're like, well, I don't want to go and create a product, I totally understand that. I'll show you some really cool methods on how you can create a simple product that you can sell. But then again, you don't have to go and create the challenges and really crazy courses or softwares. You can go and promote other people's courses like I mentioned in the previous video, okay? But that being said, you do want a product because you're gonna have to sell a product, okay? Now, as far as what type of product should we create, okay? So there's a few things that I recommend. Some of them are a little bit harder than others, but the first thing is like a tool or a template, something that's just really easy to create and something that's going to give someone a fast result. Now, here's an example of a tool that I actually created when I was in the health and fitness space. So I was trying to help people lose weight and gain muscle. So I created this macro calculator, okay? So essentially what that is you entered your body weight, what's your desired weight, how much to eat, just some basic calculations. And it spit out like an exact plan on how much you should eat based on, what you fed the calculator. Now, this calculator took me about a few hours to date, but this was my $5 product, okay? This was the main core thing because now people can get a fast result. They can go buy this quick calculator and they plug it in, they get the results that they want, okay? So that's what I want you to think about, okay? Whatever your product is, you need to create a tool or some type of template that's gonna make it easier for them to get that dream result. Now, the next one you can create is a challenge. Now, typically this is a little bit harder to create. It takes a lot more thought, but this is something that I've used to create my SLO. I actually sell a challenge for a low ticket price. Okay, and that's my SLO. And of course, I'll show you examples of what that looks like. So I don't really recommend this for a complete beginner, but that doesn't mean you can't go and do it. I was an affiliate as well, and I created a challenge. It just took some more time to create the actual product itself. The cool thing is we have AI now, so you can actually use ChatGPT or Claude to go and, at least outline the challenge, right? So for example, this is Claude AI, and I've been loving Claude lately, and ChatGPT is great as well, but Claude just a lot more in depth. Now check this out. I asked it a question saying, can you create a 3-day challenge for me that will teach people how to start getting Instagram social media followers? Write me a script for 3 days. It will be for people that have an online business but need more followers and customers. Okay, so I wasn't as specific as I could have been, but you get the point, right? The more you feed AI, the better answers you're gonna get. But you'll see here, it gave me an entire 3-day structure of what I should do, okay? So this will kind of give you some ideas. And not only that, you can also use this to create your checklists and your documents and all that stuff, okay? So definitely use AI. It's very powerful, not only just to create a challenge, but for multiple things online, okay? So really try to utilize that. Now, once you create your core product, okay, and this is assuming you don't have a product. Some of you already have a product that you want to sell, so obviously skip that first thing. But for anyone who doesn't, you do have to create a product, okay? Whether you're an affiliate or not, because the whole purpose is to self-liquidate that offer, okay? So you do have to have your own core offer. Now, again, you don't have to have your own back end, right? So if we go back to what I was saying in part 2 of this series, you don't have to have your own back end, meaning you don't have to have like a full-on course or webinar or a software. You don't have to have that technically. You can simply partner with other affiliate programs and offer this on the back end, okay? But you do have to have a low ticket product that you can sell, okay? Because the whole purpose here is I want to help you build your SLO. I want to help you build your email list, okay? Meaning, again, I'm going to just keep saying this. If you throw $1,000 into ads, you should be making $1,000 back, all right? Or at least more or less, right? Even if it's like, $950 or $1,050, it should be pretty close to break even, because everything that happens after this point is you're in the money, right? Because you built this list of customers, okay? So you do have to have a product for this to work, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is we got to create a sales page or a squeeze page for your SLO funnel. I'm going to walk you through all the parts. Again, I'm going to show you the full example of everything, but this is just kind of the framework of what you need to think about, okay? So the next part is we basically got to create the sales page. So again, that's going to be this first page, right? We're running Facebook ads and YouTube ads and TikTok. It's going to be the first page people see. This is important because we want people to go to this page and see the headline, see some images, and make an impulse purchase. Really, really important. I'm going to show you some examples of this, but basic things that you're going to need is you're going to need a headline and sub-headline, right? So a very powerful headline that tells the customer, this is why you should get this product, okay? Some basic sales copy, bullet points. If you have testimonials, it's always great to have some. So as you start to sell them, maybe ask your clients and customers to give you a quick testimonial and add those in as you go. Those are very, very important as well. The next one is optional, but very, very powerful, and that's a video sales letter. Now, you don't necessarily need this because it is a very low ticket product. It should be an impulse purchase. So basically what this is, it's just simple video, essentially selling the product, okay? Demoing the product, saying what they're gonna get. Again, you don't absolutely need this, but it's gonna help. It won't hurt you. These are the basic things that you need for your squeeze page or sales page. So here's just a quick example of my squeeze page or my sales page. This is the first thing that they see when they click on an ad. Okay, so you can see it's very simple. It's got the headline here. This is the VSL here. So this is what I was talking about the video. Again, you absolutely don't need this, but it's gonna help. Okay, and then of course you have the two-step order form. Typically you're asking for an email first, and then under that is have the copy, right? So the copy is essentially the sales part. This is where you tell people why they need this product. Okay, there's a pain point that they have. You got to tell them why they need it. Okay, now the cool thing is you can again use Claude or ChatGPT to write the copy for you. Okay, copywriting is an actual high income skill. Okay, it's not something that you just learn overnight. You know, if you're struggling with what to say or what bullet points, just simply ask AI and it'll give you a good outline and framework. But you'll see this is what we have. We have some quick copy, some bullet points here, and then of course the actual offer itself. So, you know, what they're gonna get with this product. Okay, so again, typically it's gonna be a $5, $9, $27, something that's impulse. Okay, but you want to tell them what they're gonna get. Now, a bonus for the main core offer is I like to add bonuses, right? So you can see I've added some bonuses here on the screen, something that's gonna just increase the perceived value of your offer. Okay, and then of course I have some images here and then some testimonials. Okay, so this is basically how I build out the squeeze page. Okay, again, the whole goal is we want them to land on this page from an ad, an impulse purchase buy. All right, so the next step is we want to create the SLO funnel, upsells and downsells. Okay, so I'm going to spend some time here because this is probably one of the most important parts. Okay, because this is where you're going to make the most money. You know, in part 1 and part 2, I gave you an actual example of how we get a higher average cart value, right? So again, I'm just going to go back on this document. I showed you an example of my SLO, and you know, I have this like $5 product, but I'm averaging $45 per order. And pretty much 10xing what I can make, right? If we're just selling a $5 product, you would never be able to get your money back with ads, at least on the front end, right? So the whole goal now is we got to really think about what we're going to add in our upsells and in our downsells. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how I do this. Okay, so the first things first, right? When I start creating these things, I actually like to start with the Google Doc, kind of like you see here. So for example, I start with, you know, if I'm going to do my upsells, I will literally say upsell number 1, and I just start throwing out ideas of what that should be. Okay, so whatever those are, you can start to throw those in. Okay, simply use a Google Doc or some notes or write it on a whiteboard. Start thinking about what the funnel's gonna look like. Okay, but I'm gonna give you guys some really cool insights here, and I'm gonna show you a full example of mine. Okay, first thing you need is you need the order bump. This is really important. It's literally like free money when people go to your funnel. Okay, and I'm going to show you why. An order bump is like a super impulse buy. If you've ever seen like a sales page and you see something like this where it's like, yes, I want to add this to my order, this is like free money, because it's like when you go to the store and there's you know, there's like an aisle of candy. Your kids want the candy and you want the magazines or whatever it is, right? That's what an order bump is. It's pretty much free money. Okay, I'll show you why, because I'll show you some numbers here. You'll see my order bumps, right? You can see 34% and 10% of people are buying. Okay, so if we add those together, it's close to 50% are taking the order bump. Now I have double order bumps, meaning I have 2 on my page. Okay, so with an order bump, and let's go back to this right here, it's typically a low cost item under the checkout. Okay, it's going to be an impulse buy, but it should be something that complements the main core offer, something like a simple template, a simple document, a cheat sheet, something very easy to consume. Now typically I like to price these at, you know, $17, $27, $37, or $47. You're gonna have to mess with the pricing, split test, of course, depending on your customers and your audience. But that's kind of the whole goal here, is you want to be able to add an order bump. If you're not adding an order bump, I promise you, you're losing money. Okay, this is like the most important thing when I'm creating this. Now here's a quick example of what my order bump looks like here. You'll notice I have 2 quick and easy order bumps that people can add, right? So, you know, if you have your main core product for $5, $9, whatever it is, that's going to show up here. But if people add the order bump, bump, right, it's going to start to add that number. So if people take both of those at $27, you'll see they can spend an average of 67 just on the front end. We're not even talking about the upsells yet. But again, this is like free money, and please add an order bump, okay? It could be a template, it could be step-by-step guide or something you create on Canva. And you'll notice here, it's just something very simple, okay? So going back, definitely want to create those order bumps, all right? So start to map out, what's the order bump going to look like? What am I going to call it? What am I going to name it? But more importantly is like, you got to go create it now, right? So if it's a template, if it's a Google Doc, you got to obviously go and create it, right? Here's another example of, there's a spreadsheet I used to give. It was like a YouTube spreadsheet that I gave people for $27, right? So you can see I created a spreadsheet where people can essentially create their YouTube videos, okay? That was one of the order bumps that I had created for a different product back in the day, okay? Again, you really want to think about the customer journey, right? You really want to figure out, okay, they're buying this main core product. What can I give them as an order bump that's going to complement that main product, okay? So that's that. Next step is we got to create all the upsells and downsells, okay? So this is where it gets fun, okay? This is where you have to start to think a little bit, because again, the upsells is where you make a lot of your money back, okay? This is where you get the average cart value that's going to start to creep up, because we want that average cart value to go up, okay? Really, really important. So start with upsell number one, okay? Again, this could be another tool, it could be a template, but again, the whole goal is make it easier to get them that main core result. Okay, so let me give you an example of my upsell number one. So this is an example of what my first upsell looks like, okay? So again, my core offer is teaching people how to build an affiliate business. So naturally, I know that I need to help them get traffic. I need to help them build followers. So I have this really cool hack that I can give them to get 1,000 TikTok followers in 24 hours. So this is the first upsell that I give them, okay? So you can see it's easy to consume. It's not like a full course. This is literally like a 20-minute video, or I think less than that. But I'm charging, you'll notice in this one, $47, but in some cases I'm charging $97. I've tested $197. So you really got to figure out the pricing. But what I'm trying to say is you want to be able to help them out. You got to figure out what's going to make it easier to get that core result, right? So you really want to think about that as you create your upsell number one. But again, the whole goal is to have that upsell that's even more than the main core offer. So typically, you know, $47, $77, $97 is the spot. Okay. Now with upsell number one, it's typically very simple. Okay. Basically, you have some quick copy. I like to have a video. You don't have to have a video again, but this is like a 30-second video saying, you know, what the product is. I'm like, hey, just click the link below. Now the cool thing, this is a one-click upsell. So meaning if they click on this button, it automatically charges their card. They don't have to go and enter their information again. This is a one-click upsell, okay? And of course, if they don't want it, they can hit no thanks. And we're gonna get to that in just a minute. I'm gonna show you some really cool ways that you can still get paid even if they say no, okay? We're gonna get to that in just a second. The next step is upsell number two, okay? Now, typically, this is a product that shrinks time for your customer. So what that means is you wanna give them some sort of done-for-you template, images, videos, funnels, whatever it is, right? So another example is if I were to sell this SLO training that you guys are watching right now, I would sell the SLO training for $5, but then I would say, hey, well, I have the done-for-you template. I'll give it to you for $197, right? So it makes things so much easier so people don't have to go and create that actual thing. It's going to make it easier, right? So it's a done for you template, done for you funnel, done for you whatever. Or again, it could be in the health and fitness niche. And let's just say you're selling this, 3-day weight loss plan. Well, one of the upsells to shrink time is you could give them your grocery list. You could give them your supplement list. So it's like, hey, I'm going to give you the list. Just go out and buy them. That's it, right? So again, we're trying to make things easier. We're trying to shrink time for your customers, but we're not trying to add more and more products. We just want to be able to shrink time. Now, the next one is upsell number 3, okay? Now, with upsell number 3, now a lot of people decide not to do an upsell number 3 just because they don't want to keep offering. I think I have a really cool offer for my upsell number 3, so I love having it there. Now, of course, once people get to this point, not as many are gonna buy. I mean, you can look at my numbers here from part 2 of this series and you'll see upsell number 3, if you can see that, about 2% buy, okay? But that's still 2% that are gonna buy. So that's, again, free money, okay? essentially. Now with me for upsell number 3, this is typically a higher perceived value. So typically I like to offer some sort of done for you service or a group Zoom call. You could do one-on-one Zoom call if you have the time for that. We do like a setup call. So I'm like, in this $5 course, I'm going to teach you how to get all the setup for the tech part. But if you don't want to do it yourself, well, someone can get on with you and do it for you, right? So people will pay for that ease. I actually charge $397 for that, and people take that all the time, right? And I'll show you what my upsell number 3 looks like in this example here. No technical skills. We will build and set up your entire business effortlessly on a one-on-one Zoom call, okay? And you can see it's $397, and a lot of people end up buying that, which is really cool. Now, one thing I want to note is you don't want to make any of these upsells required. Let's just say they buy your $5 product, and let's just say they don't buy any of your upsells. You don't want to restrict something. The whole point of the upsells is to just make it easier for your customer. You don't want to just take out a part of your main core product, because that's going to get people mad and they're not going to be happy with it, okay? And you could say, hey, if you want this result quicker, well, I have this Zoom call, I have this template, I have this or that. That's the whole purpose. You don't want to restrict from the main core thing, okay? Very, very important. Because they don't buy any of my upsells, I don't want to give them everything. No, still give them a really good offer and a really good product, give them more information and really complement the main core product. But we don't want to take anything away, okay? Very important. Now, I did mention that I'm going to give you access to this SLO training document. I'll show you how to get access to that at the end of this series. But when you do get access to it, I will give you all the examples of all the pages, all my order bumps, all the upsells. That way you can see them step by step, okay? Now, one other thing I want to mention, okay, and this is really, really cool, okay? This is where it gets fun. I want to add some downsells to your SLO. So basically, these are lower priced offers if a customer declines a regular upsell. You typically want to price it less than the previous upsell, or we can create a payment plan, okay? So I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we go up, we have upsell number 1 or upsell number 2, and they don't buy, right? So for example, let's just say we have this one at $47, and they're like, no, I don't want that product. Well, then we have another page that says, how about I give you a $10 discount or a $20 discount, right? That's where we can start to downsell. Okay. And this will really start to increase your income a lot. And even for upsell number 2, let's just say I have a product for $97. They don't buy it. Well, I can have a downsell for $77. Let's just say they don't buy that. Well, then I can do a payment plan as well, right? So people are going to take those offers, okay? And I'll show you some of my examples that I really think you're going to like, okay? So for example, remember I showed you upsell number 1 was $47. Now the cool thing is I'm like, hey, I noticed that you didn't buy. What if I just give you $20 off on this page? A lot of people are still taking this, which is really cool. You want to add multiple downsells as well. Really, really important. Now here's another one here. This is for upsell number 2. I think I had this at $97. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to give it to you for $57 on this page, okay? Now, if they say no again, check this out. This is really cool. I have a payment plan as well. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to give it to you for 4 payments of $19. You can see here, people still buy those downsells. I mean, if you go to the numbers here, and I'll show you this again, you'll see right here for upsell number 2, 2.5% of people buy it. And then I had downsell number 1, which you'll see right here, 1.71%. Remember, they said no anyways. And if they say no again, 0.69 bought it. And then when I did the payment plan, downsell number 3, 6% of people bought it. Dramatically increased. And look at all of the extra cash I made, right? So what does that do? It increases my average cart value. Really, really cool. Okay, this is really important stuff, because if you can figure out how to increase the average cart value, the more the average cart value that you have, the more you can spend on your Facebook ads, your YouTube ads, your TikTok ads, okay? This is where it gets fun, okay? You do have to design, you gotta figure out the best upsells and downsells, but this is the whole purpose of the SLO. Now, I'm gonna say this one more time, okay? If you're getting overwhelmed by this and you don't wanna go and create your own, at the end of this series, I'm gonna show you how you can completely clone my SLO as your own. But again, make sure that anyone can watch this series. Either you can go and clone my system, go to the end of this series, or you can go and create this for yourself. yourself. I want to make sure to help every single person, okay? Because with an SLO, doesn't matter what you sell, you're going to be able to create this to sell whatever product that you have, okay? All right, so once you created all your upsells and downsells, the next step is to simply create your email automations. Now there's two sequences that you have to create. You have to create your opt-in sequence and then also your buyer sequence. So they're very, very similar, and I'll show you kind of how I design that, okay? So your opt-in sequence is basically when people, they want to opt into your product. So for example, let's just say they go to your page and they enter their name and email, but they don't buy, okay? They go to your opt-in list, okay? They're not on your buyer's list. Okay, which is still okay because we can still send them emails. Now the purpose, we'll call this email list number A, okay? And we'll call this email list number B, okay? A is gonna be your opt-in, so we're gonna go A, and then B is your buyer sequence, okay? So the whole purpose of A is we wanna get people back to the main core offer. We want people to buy that $5 product, right? So typically I will send, you know, a nurture email, just giving them value, right? Like here's a quick tip, or here's how you can do XYZ, right? Like don't even sell anything. It's just a nurture email. If you have a testimonial email, add that, right? So if someone talked about your $5 product or whatever product you're selling, have an email that has a testimonial, okay? The next one is like a YouTube video, okay? A YouTube video or a social media video. You'll notice I do a lot of value emails because I want to really nurture my audience, especially because they're coming from cold traffic, okay? The next one is the main core offer email, okay? So this is where I want to go ahead and send them to $5 product, the main thing that I'm selling, because I want them to buy that $5 or SLO product, okay? Your SLO. And then we just basically repeat that sequence. We want to do that again. We do this about 14 times, okay? This is kind of my rule. You can do more or less. You can do 30 emails. My thought process is if they don't buy after 14 emails, they're not going to buy the $5 product. That doesn't mean I stop emailing them though. I just switch them to my affiliate stacking ecosystem where I promote 15 other products as an affiliate, right? So if you remember part number 2, I showed you how you can copy my affiliate stacking ecosystem as your own, or you can go and create your own emails as well, okay? So depending on what you're using, I would definitely recommend that you promote multiple products, okay? That's series number A, is you want to create that opt-in sequence. Now the next one is your buyer sequence, okay? That's B. This means they bought your $5 product and now they're on your buyer's list, okay? So you're gonna have two different lists. You're gonna have your buyer's list and your opt-in list. Now, obviously this list is way, way more valuable because they actually paid for the product. They actually took out their credit card and paid, okay? But we still kind of treat them the same, meaning we send them, obviously the first email is the welcome email. It's like, hey, here's the $5 product that you bought, enjoy. Typically, you know, you'll send them a link to the PDF or to the course. Like in my example, they'll get access to my course, my challenge, right? So here's my 72-hour challenge. So once they pay the $5, the first email will be the welcome. Here's how to access the challenge. And you can see you have day 1, day 2, and day 3. And that's the whole purpose, right? Is that welcome email. Here's your product, right? Pretty straightforward. The next one is join our community email. Now that being said, you don't have to have a community, but I love having a community. Okay, I think that's like one of the coolest things that you can have, having some sort of community. Now, this is my Facebook group here. I have over 30,000 members. And when people first buy my $5 product, I send them here because they can go ask questions. They can go post their screenshots, they can go post, you know, their contracts with themselves, all these really cool things that they can do inside of a Facebook group, okay? Now, if you don't want to create a Facebook group, you can actually create a community inside of Funnel Freedom, okay? So this is very cool because if you have Funnel Freedom, this is an added feature that you can use absolutely free. You can see I can create a group just like a Facebook group, right? You can have a group name, a description, your own branding, and you can create this Facebook group, but it's more powerful because you control the algorithm, whereas Facebook's a little bit different, right? So for those who are using my software, Funnel Freedom, just know that you can create these communities, and I definitely recommend that you have that, okay? Now going back, again, we want to send that second email about joining our community, whether it's a Facebook group, a Funnel Freedom community or whatever community that you choose. And then the next step here, after you join the community, the next is it's a nurture email. And then again, we send them to a YouTube video. Again, if you don't have a YouTube video, that's okay. You can completely skip this if you want. I just like doing this. If you really want to build your business for the long term, I absolutely recommend that you have this, but that doesn't mean you have to have it, okay? This could also be an IG video, TikTok. I typically like YouTube more because I feel like it can provide more value for people. Okay, but remember, they're already a buyer, so we don't want to send them back to your SLO, your $5 product. What we want to do is we want to now get them to your back end offer, right? This is where you make the money. This is where you make the true money, and this is the name of the game, okay? So again, going back, and I explained this in part 2, you're really not going to make that much money here. I mean, you can make money. I'm not saying you can't, but typically you're going to break even. But where you make your money is this back-end system where you're selling $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 product. That's where you make the money. So you want to send to like some sort of high ticket product. You want to send to some sort of monthly reoccurring product. Now, again, these can either be your products or it can be a product that you partnered with, right? It can be a company that you partnered with as an affiliate, and they pay you 40%, 50%, whatever it is that they offer. Now the cool thing is I like having the high ticket stuff right here with the $3,000-$4,000 product. But my favorite part is this monthly reoccurring, because when you get people to buy this, this is money that you're going to get every single month. Whether this is your product or an affiliate, it's still your money every single month. Okay. And then of course we talk about the affiliate stacking ecosystem, where you can really maximize the profit, right? This is where we send them to multiple affiliate offers, okay? I talk about this on part 2, so if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. But this is where you really can maximize that, okay? But even if you don't, like either way, whatever happens after this point is just money in the bank. So going back here is basically, this is it. You repeat this process here. Now, again, after you do this for a while, again, 14, 20 emails, there's not really a rule, just really fill out your audience. I then move them again to the affiliate stacking ecosystem where I can then promote multiple products. And that's it. You've created an SLO that is self-liquidating, meaning you're building this list for free, but then we're selling that back-end product, whether that's your product, whether that's an affiliate product. That's the beauty of the SLO. It allows you to build that list as an affiliate, as a business owner, brick and mortar owner, whatever it is that you're trying to sell. So your next step is to create the entire SLO. You have all the steps to do it. I want you to pull out a document and I want you to start mapping out and designing your SLO. Now, in the next video in this series, I'm going to show you how to actually put it together. I'm going to show you how to use the software, how we build the funnel, how we create the members area, how we do the email automation. I'm going to show you how we actually build it out. But before you can build it out, of course, you need to know how to design it. You can't just go start building if you don't know what you're doing, right? It's like when they build a skyscraper. They don't just start building it. They have to have the blueprints before they build the skyscraper. So you have to have the blueprint. You have to have a skeleton of what it's going to look like. But on the next video, I'm going to show you how to actually put it all together and start making money. How do we connect our merchant accounts so we can start making money with our SLO? So super excited about it. I think you're really going to enjoy exactly how to build that out. And then of course, later on in this series, we'll show you how to run ads to that SLO. And my favorite part, if you stick to the end of this series, I'm going to show you how you can clone my exact SLO as your own. So super excited about that. I'll see you guys on the next video, and God bless.